Live to Joanie Lum. She just got there in Highland Park. Joanie, what are you seeing? What are you hearing?
Well, we made our way down to downtown Highland Park at the intersection of Green Bay and Central. Down Central, you can see that there is a massive police force. We have different agencies of law enforcement who have arrived at this scene here on Central. City of Highland Park, along with Lake County and also state police. It seems like they're having a meeting. As I was walking over here, I did see other law enforcement walking through parking lots and knocking on doors, some of these buildings with long guns. Streets are really blocked off in this area, as you know. We have heard that there may be as many as 11 people shot. That is not confirmed. We did talk to a law enforcement source that said that he heard that there was one fatality. That also is not confirmed. Police aren't saying much about what has happened here, but they are warning the public to stay out of the area. And you've been talking about the scene and how baby strollers and lawn chairs and toys and blankets have been just left behind. Everyone's scrambling for safety after they heard the shots fired in this area and people going down. There were at least 10 ambulances that came in to do rescue and to treat people. But now we have just a massive police presence down at the end of the block here. We did hear a report that something was happening at Sunset Foods. That's at the corner here at Green Bay and Central as well. It's quiet there, so there's no activity, but we do hear sirens all around the neighborhood, police responding to different clues, different tips. But right now we just have a quiet scene here where apparently the shooting started. Now back to you.
Joanie, I was going to ask you about that because, we see from Sky Fox here, and we saw from earlier video as well, live shots as well, officers going in and out of buildings. But are you getting a sense of some urgency here?
Very much so, because I keep hearing sirens going in different directions. It's not clear to me which direction that they're going. They've been west of us, east and north. They're just trying to follow to try to find the person who is responsible for this. But we have a lot of law enforcement in this area still arriving, so they might just be arriving to the scene as well. Although it looks quiet here, there's definitely a sense of urgency.
And as we said, people have been told to shelter in place, so I'd imagine you're not seeing many residents out there. But just talk to the scope of those empty chairs and those strollers that are being left out. And, it's grim, but it's the reality. We saw earlier from the Sky Fox shot, I could see blood there on the sidewalk. Just paint the scene for us there, Joanie.
Well, you heard some of the witnesses and neighbors talking about how this is the event for Highland Park, how the entire town comes downtown, prepares early, gets their space so that they can enjoy a piece of Americana. It was to begin at 10 o'clock. The shooting was at 10:30 or 10:45. Highland Park is known as a quiet community, a small town community where kids can ride their bikes by themselves, where everyone feels safe until today. And as you see, the signs of people who were out here at this time, a lot of small children, because we're seeing strollers and bikes and bike helmets, parasols, the remnants of people who just got out of here in a hurry, and now they don't know if they're safe where they are right now. Police have this area covered, a wide area covered. Streets are shut down all over Highland Park. There's a big staging area just off of Central near Beverly that is crowded with media and with first responders and law enforcement. East of here, the streets are shut down. It's difficult to get in. People are advised not to get in. And still, we don't know whether someone has been taken into custody. There have been rumors. Police are trying to check those out.
And again, there have been rumors about where the suspect possibly could be and possibly holding people hostage, but none of that has been confirmed right now. So yes, there is a lot of hearsay on Twitter, Facebook, social media, but we are working to get you some concrete information right now. Joanie, this is the 4th of July. This is a parade, and I just read someone on Twitter say that they were hoping for a sense of normalcy today, but sadly, shootings have become normalcy here in our country. Just chills when you read that, and chills when you pair that with the images that we're looking at right now and the images you're seeing right there in person right now too.
Shocking, horrible, people coming together to enjoy each other's company, a gathering that they haven't had in 2 years, a simple, free form of entertainment where people are celebrating independence, an American holiday, now shattered by gunfire.
And we're getting reports now, too, that several neighboring suburbs are sending assistance out there as well. So there will be several different law enforcement departments out there right now. They're trying to find this shooter who just terrified families, terrified children, had people running for their lives. Several injured at this point, and a law enforcement source is telling Fox 32 at least one person is dead.